So here's an interesting story. So the New York Times picked up the Tara Reade rap allegation. Now Bernie Sanders already dropped out. Funny enough, seems pretty I don't know, seems kind of coincidental. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that those two things collided. But it's interesting. They had a sentence where they said the Times found no pattern of sexual misconduct by Mr. Biden beyond the hugs, kisses, and touching that women previously said made them uncomfortable. And this is an incredibly stupid statement for a couple of reasons. One of them because there doesn't have to be a pattern of sexual misconduct to, for there to be Tara Reade's allegations to be true. But then also, it's like this is almost like a self-defeating argument. It's like saying, like, I haven't ate lunch except for that I ate a bowl of rice and some steak. It's like, what? Didn't you eat lunch? What do you mean? Doesn't make sense. Including all of this stuff in there. Now, there's this Q&A done, and the person asks the NY Times, it says, why did you delete that? And they responded saying, even though a lot of us, including me, had looked at it before the story went into the paper, I think that the campaign thought that the phrasing was awkward and made it look like there were other instances in which he had been accused of sexual misconduct, and that's not what the sentence was intended to say. Now, what I don't understand about this, the fact that the campaign is pressuring them to do this is pretty insane, and it's even worse that they actually, they followed what they said. That's pretty insane to me, man. But this statement is true on the face of it. It's a dumb statement, but not for the reason that, oh, let's delete the second portion, because the second portion adds, this information to it, and so there are, I think, 7 women who have come out basically saying Joe Biden has done weird stuff where, like, I don't know if it was, I think it was the woman from the video where Obama is talking about, like, healthcare, and he touches heads with her and stuff like that, and then all this really weird stuff of, like, he grabs one woman's chin, and it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, motherfucker? Probably the aneurysm that got him, honestly, but you're going to take out a factual, and then you also said you reviewed the statement before you posted it, which tells me you probably agree with it. You probably just took it down because you don't want to be on the bad side of the Biden campaign. Because what you got to understand about something like the New York Times is you want access to the Biden campaign. You want to be the first source, right? And so if you do something that they don't like, they're going to retaliate. They're going to be like, oh, we're not going to give you a source. We're not going to be on top of, you're not going to get the first source, you're not going to get interviews, all this kind of stuff, and that hurts them. So the fact that they capitulated to the campaign's demands is absolutely disgusting, and it's pretty scary. And again, all the talk about state TV, which is pretty hilarious when this is our media. Even more hilarious is asking a question, what was the difference between Kavanaugh and Tara Reade? Or Kavanaugh and Biden. It says Kavanaugh was already in a public forum in a large way. Kavanaugh's status as a Supreme Court justice was in question because of a very serious allegation. And when I say in a public way, I don't mean in the public way of Tara Reade's. If you ask the average person in America, they didn't know about the Tara Reade case. So I thought in that case, if the NY Times was going to introduce this to the readers, we needed to introduce it with some reporting and perspective. Kavanaugh was in a very different situation. It was a live, ongoing story that had become the biggest political story in the country. It was just a different news judgment moment. So the problem with this statement is the reason why it became a nationwide big political thing is because you and the media actually covered it. The reason why Tara Reade's allegation is being taken serious by nobody and reported by nobody, and why it's not an ongoing story, is because the New York Times didn't cover it, and nobody but The Intercept was even covering it. And so Joe Biden is running for president. That's an ongoing political thing, right? Just like Brett Kavanaugh was running. Then there surfaces Christine Blasey Ford's allegation. All the media starts covering it right away, right? So, what happened? In this situation, the difference is you just didn't cover it. And if you don't cover something, nobody's going to know about it. So, they said, I'm sure if you ask everyone, they don't know about it. Yes, they don't know about it because you didn't fucking talk about it. You didn't report it to anybody. This is the thing. Everybody gets their information from the news. And that's why mainstream media is so powerful, and the media basically controls essentially the world. You know what I mean? Because where do you get your information from? What do you know? It's a perfect example of this, right? They're right. The vast majority of people don't know about the rap allegation against him. But why? It's because the media didn't cover it. That's why. And so that's the thing. And so it's crazy how much of a pretzel these guys want to weasel themselves into. But you really tarnish the name of the New York Times and stuff, especially because NY Times had they released the Pentagon Papers, that Daniel Ellsberg had given them and shit like that. Went through court cases and all this stuff. When really they're just cowards and they'll do anything to like shit on Trump and whatnot. But when it comes to the liberals, they love them. They got to keep some friends, right? So they want to keep some buddies in the Biden admin. And again, it's really funny that all this is coming out after Bernie already dropped out. But pretty pitiful shit, man. Pretty embarrassing stuff. But kind of a bombshell that they basically changed their article, which had a fact in it, because the campaign told them to.